Welcome in. Jesse Shule here from jesseshule.com. We got the NFL kickoff show for week 11, and I'm super excited to have three special guests and a special guest host. We got Mr. Sean Higgs joining me today, the number one NFL handicapper in the world, as documented at sportscapping.com last year, and he's sitting at the top of the leaderboards again this year. And we're welcoming in Rye Cape from the Insiders Room. We got Dan Kaiser also from the Insiders Room and Joey Tron, and they're here to pick a few games and go against the Iceman. Wasn't working out that great for him last week. 2-1 on the show last week against the Challengers. Dan Kaiser did get himself a win on a total in the Chargers game. But Rye and we had Kevin Thomas was on the show last week. He was telling us that Brian Billick was going to come out of retirement and lead the Patriots to victory in Germany, but we know that didn't happen. Anyways, let's bring on Sean and Joey. All right, Sean, how's things going?
Pretty good. Just ready for another nice weekend. I'm doing my little write-ups for Sunday. I got my college all done. Now it's time for some NFL. Get some packages up.
Any action in these early college basketball games today?
I do have. Let me see. I don't even know what games are playing right now.
Well, the Johnnies and St. Louis Billikens both won close games.
Nope.
I had the Johnnies. I had the Johnnies on the money line. They won by one. It was right down to the wire.
1 by 1.
Never
that was 5.5. What were you laying on that? Like 240?
No, it was 140.
Oh, would you get overnight?
Yeah, on the overnight.
All right, that's good. Yeah, because it was 3. I know it went up to like 5.5. So
makes sense. Anyways, we got Joey Tron from the Insiders Room here. Joey's going to talk about Monday Night Football. We got the Super Bowl rematch. I know, Sean, you don't have a big opinion on the side in this game, do you?
I have a side and total both posted on the sites, so you'll get a.
So you don't want to divulge, all right?
I'll divulge my information. It's all right. Listen, people watch this don't buy picks anyway, so it doesn't. And if they want to, I mean, I charge $30 for a week. I make my money betting on it. Not selling it for $30. So
all right, Sean. Well, I usually ask the challengers if they want to go first or if they want me to go first. So Joey, what do you want to do? You want to go first or you want us to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I don't mind. And if my dog barks in the background, I want to apologize. He's just rooting me on and encouraging me, you know.
You're the betting underdog. Well, you better be barking.
You're betting the underdog, exactly. So even better. It's good luck for you if your dog barks.
So I don't normally like to back the Eagles. Not gonna lie. I tell Ryan all the time. I think they're overrated. But in this spot, I really like them. Both the Eagles are 4-1 against the spread on the road this season. The Chiefs are 4-1 against the spread at home. What's going to give in this game? I think the difference is going to be the offense. Eagles have scored 28 plus in 5 out of their 9 games this season, and the Chiefs are averaging 23 points per game overall. However, they failed to score over that in 3 out of their last 4 games, which really worries me coming into this game. The Eagles' offense is ranked 6th in total yards per game, and they are 1st in third down conversion at 50%. If the Chiefs defense can't get Hurts off the field, I think this is really going to be troublesome for them and really wear them down over time. Defensively, the Eagles secondary is undoubtedly going to struggle. However, I really like their rush game. Their rush defense is honestly impeccable. They're only allowing 66 rushing yards per game. The Eagles are holding teams to just 42% on third down, which is huge. Mahomes has had at least 1 turnover in 6 straight games. And if he has at least 1 interception or fumbles the ball once, I really think the Eagles are going to capitalize on this. The Eagles are 13-3 against the spread in road games after they've allowed 375 yards in back-to-back games. And the Chiefs are 4-5 against the spread against the NFC at home since 2020. Honestly, this game's going to come down to the last possession, and I hope the Eagles have it.
All right, Joey. Well, let me tell you why I disagree. Yeah, and I was interested. You didn't even bring up the revenge angle from the Super Bowl loss.
You know, I literally have that in my notes, and I didn't even say it.
Okay. Well, I have a counterpoint for that, and that is that revenge is probably the most overused tool in the handicapping arsenal, in my opinion. I like to use revenge angles, but only if I feel like I'm taking the better team. If the better team lost and now the better team gets a chance for revenge, I like that. But in this case, I still feel like the Chiefs, they're the home team. I think they have the better coach and the better quarterback and better situation for the Chiefs. So the revenge doesn't really play into it for me. The biggest key, though, is obviously Kansas City's defense is playing lights out right now, and the offense has been brutal. So, if you look at Kansas City's weakness, it's definitely the offense. But we're coming off a bye. Andy Reid off a bye. What is he, 27-4 straight up off a bye? He's like the grand master of bye-week scheming. And what's better for a struggling offense than, a bye week to sort things out and clean things up? So I'm expecting big things from the Chiefs offense this week. I expect it to be a sort of a get-right game for the offense. And just for me, it's a good spot for the Chiefs. I actually like them first half more than I like them full game, but I like both full game and first half. Sean, you got anything to add to this?
What's going to say? The guy is 27-4 off of bye weeks. I got a defense giving them 19 points a game. They shut out Miami, who still off a bye week still has the most points and most yards per game. And now you're facing Eagles. Yeah, they might be a little more healthier, but they've been banged up kind of the season. I can't. I mean, that's not just being a Philadelphia hater. It's just Mahomes at home is some ridiculous record of like 71-10 or 15. The guy's phenomenal. These two together, him and Reed. And what are you laying? 2.5? I mean, late to 130. Just hi, Kansas City to the window. Don't overthink.
Sean, any opinion on the first half with the idea that Reed is such a genius off a bye week that those scripted plays for the first few drives are usually scripted and probably well practiced with the 2 weeks off. Would you favor the first half play, or that's just complicating it for you?
No, I mean, I guess you could. To me, it doesn't make a difference. I mean, they're 7-2 with no offense, and now he's had a week to prepare and come up with a new wrinkle. So I'm, me. I'm more of if I like it a full game, I think the first half should be there anyway. First quarter, right? I'm taking a favorite, or either way, if I'm taking a dog, I think that team, whoever I like for the game, should come out and inject their dominance on the other team. So Dan wants some steak. He loves your steak.
Yeah, Sean told me he doesn't like big fat steaks, and I wanted to show him how I do a big fat steak. So that's on Twitter if anybody missed it. But well, Joey, there you have it. Sean and I are in full agreement. I brought out the big guns, and we're planning on taking you down this week, my man. But before we send you backstage or say goodbye to you, actually, why don't you tell us what you've been doing, what you got going on at the Insiders Room, any hot streaks you want to share with us?
Yeah, I'm doing pretty good right now. I'm on a 35-16 all sports run. I'm 27-8 with hockey. I have my NFL AFC North game of the month up. I have an NHL play up, and I have a college basketball play up as well over at insidersroom.com. Check them out.
And the link for Joey's Cappers page can be found in the description box below this video. Thank you for stopping by, Joey, and good luck with the games this weekend.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Jesse.
All right, let's bring in Rycape. Sean, he wants to talk about the Cleveland Browns, and he's getting really cocky. He thinks we're in trouble here.
Yes, I do. And as an Eagles fan, let me tell you, I'm worried about that Andy Reid off of a bye. I'm not going to lie.
How you doing, Sean? You look like you're frozen.
No.
No, you're not. That's right. You just weren't moving around much. All right. So
I know. I was sitting pretty. Sorry.
So, Rye, you want to go first, or you want us to go first?
Yeah, I want to go first. I went second last week, and it didn't go well. Went well
okay.
About the fourth quarter. But yeah, that was a brutal one. I thought I had you.
You almost did. You should have. So let's hear it. Why are the Browns going to lose here?
All right. So we've obviously seen this line drop. That's because of the Watson news. Dorian Thompson Robinson will start. I'm not a big fan of Deshaun Watson, but this is definitely a downgrade. There's no doubt the Browns' defense is elite, but their offense is one of the worst in the NFL. They rank 26 in EPA per play. 28th in success rate, 30th in yards per play. In DTR's last start, he went 19 for 36 for 121 yards, sacked 4 times, threw 3 interceptions. He got crushed. That's not the type of production you want if you're going to be in front of that Steelers defense. If we dig further, Browns quarterbacks have been sacked 13 times in their last 2 games versus Steelers. Steelers are plus 10 in turnover differential. Browns are only minus 4. I think DTR will have to have a clean game here. I don't think he does. Obviously, the Achilles heel of the Steelers team is their offense. Well, they didn't do much of that in their first game between these teams. Pittsburgh's offense didn't run a single offensive play in Cleveland's 30-yard line. They have found a bright spot with Jalen Warren. Last week, he had 15 carries, 101 yards, and a touchdown. He's averaging 5.1 yards per carry this season. So the Steelers' offense will rely on their run game. I think they'll have success. Obviously, the Browns will rely on their run game as well. A couple things here about coaching. Mike Tomlin, he pretty much owes the Browns. He has 5 straight wins against the Browns as a dog, though I don't think they're a dog anymore. Tomlin also owns rookie quarterbacks. I think he's going to have his team ready to go. As a dog with 3 points or less, he is 22-10 as a Steelers coach. In addition to Watson being out, Cleveland will have a backup center, and two, maybe 3 other linemen will be out. Steelers are on a 4-0 run versus AFC North, 4-1 ATS in their last 5, 4-1 in their last 5 against the Browns, 6-1 ATS in their last 7 road games, 8-3 ATS in their last 11 against AFC North. Browns haven't won 3 in a row since the start of 2021 season. So I think another thing is Steelers have been outgained in every game, including their 6 wins. But I think this team has a weird way of winning games that they shouldn't win. This is a big game for both teams. I also think the fact that DTR is starting, it feels like Cleveland's more looking to the future rather than the present. I think Pittsburgh wins this one outright. I actually think it's -1 now to Pittsburgh.
I got it at -105. Actually, I should probably put that up here like that. But I'm a little bit worried about this one. But Sean, you told me yesterday that you're still taking the Browns. Do you still feel that way?
I have the Browns. I got Browns -2.5. And yeah, it's a pick 'em. It'll come. Pittsburgh will be favored by game time. Let's not get carried away. It's DRT or DTR. The guy does not look good. It's odd that they're not letting PJ Walker start. I mean, okay, he's throw some picks, but he almost won that Seattle game. I mean, he's not terrible. Regardless, I have a Pittsburgh team that the first time they met got a fumble, interception, whatever, touchdowns, and they hit a Hail Mary basically past the score. They're getting out yarded by 100 yards every single game anyway. So I got a garbage quarterback in. So instead of being out yarded by 100 yards, it'll be an even match kind of game. Are we really? And Tomlin's a better coach. Why does this game scream Browns to me? Everybody's going to bet the Steelers here. Everybody's going to be all over them. Oh, my God. They don't have Watson. Well, Watson's played terrible anyway. Walker hasn't played that great. And somehow they still win games because even though they're in a couple wild ones lately, defensively, the Colts game, the Ravens game, let's make no mistake here. The Steelers, this is not some high-flying offense by any stretch of the means, man. It's Cleveland. And this under 2 down to a 33. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the game's going to be 13-9. I still like the Browns. Nobody's giving them a shot.
I bet this game early in the week when the Browns were a big favorite, so I got a terrible line. And I felt pretty good about it still with PJ Walker starting.
Yeah.
I don't like the DTR news, but I have in my notes from the first matchup between these two teams, Cleveland outgained them 408 to 255 in total yards. Cleveland ran for 198 yards on 35 carries. That's 5.7 yards per carry. If they can do that, it might not matter who starts at quarterback. And, this Cleveland team has won with backup quarterbacks before. They beat the 49ers 19-17. It could be another one of those games. I mean, at the end of the day, the quarterback on the other side ain't that great either. And Pittsburgh's kind of due for you can get by for only so long getting outgained every game. The idea that you get outgained every game and keep on winning, to me, is something that has to end eventually. And I think if they're outgained by 100 yards in this game, they're going to be SOL. So that's where I stand with that. But
last
I must
time
admit,
they played, it was Nick Chubb, not Ford.
Well, I know, but Chubb only had about a quarter of those yards, and he got his leg ripped half off, and which was probably contributed to the fact that they blew the lead. And yeah. So, Raw, yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have put this game on the list had I have known how it was going to unfold. But like Sean said, stuck with the Browns, still think they got a decent – I mean, they're still the home team, and the Steelers still aren't all that. So we'll see how it plays out. But, Rye, why don't you tell us how you've been doing, what you got going on, and where people can find you?
Yeah, so you can find me at Rycape on all social media. My premium picks are at theinsidersroom.com. I've been doing well. I'm 4-0 my last 4 NFL. College football, 5-1 my last 6. 7-3 in the NBA. And the NHL, I'm doing really well, 6-1 my last 7. So, yeah, I'm hot right now. I'm enjoying it. Enjoy it with me.
And you can find the link to Rise Capper's page. He goes by Tom Macrina at the Insiders Room and also on Winners and Winers. And the link is in the description box below this video. Thanks for stopping by, Rye. We'll bring you back in a little bit. First, we got to talk to the professor. Dan the Man Kaiser, you're the only guy that got a win against me last week. You ready to do it again here?
2 straight against you, so yeah, I can see why you brought in. I can see why you brought in Sean.
Here we go.
Yeah, that's right. I brought out the big guns. So which game are we going to talk about here?
I haven't done a show with Dan in a while. It's been since like the old Total Chaos days.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I don't know. Sean might be on your side for this one, Dan. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
Oh, I've had good luck going second, so I might as well keep the streak.
All right. Like I said, I don't even think Sean likes this game, but so Keenan Allen, Gerald Everett, both questionable for the Chargers, and the Chargers on paper probably one of the best teams in the NFL, but the game is not played on paper, and that's evident by the Chargers' record. They just can't get out of their own way. Coaching staff is a bit of a disaster. They're coming off a 41-38 loss at home to the Detroit Lions. Dan's Detroit Lions. And that was their 4th loss of 3 points or less this season. They have a tendency to play games decided by 3 points or less. Now they're on the road in the middle of winter, Lambeau Field, not exactly ideal conditions for an indoor team like the Chargers. The Packers, they're coming off a 23-19 loss to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's their 4th loss in a game decided by 4 points or less. So the Packers also tend to play close games. Home game, potential cold weather in the winter. Packers have been disappointing this year. The line sits at 3. Most books have a 3. I was able to get a 3.5. I think if you wait, I think by Sunday morning, there'll be plenty of 3.5s on the board. So I'm going to say the smart money is going to be on the home team plus the 3.5. What do you got to say for yourself, Dan?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about this whole weather thing because it's the middle of November. It's still 60 degrees around this part of the country, so not really sure if that's going to be a factor. It ain't like this. It ain't LA.
It's not the Novembers we're used to around the Midwest, but hey, that's for another story. For another day.
I'm seeing about 40s, high 40s for temperature wise.
That's all right. And you mentioned Keenan Allen might be questionable. Fine. I don't know why he's questionable because no Lions hit him last week, and I don't think he got touched against the Lions last week. But as you say, it is the Chargers, and I'm not sure there's a more disappointing team in the NFL the last few years than the Chargers. Every year, people say this is going to be their year. They're going to step up and do something, and they always find a way to fail. Like last week,
They scored in every quarter last week, put up 38 points and still lost. But again, look at who they're playing. Green Bay. Green Bay's 3-6. I'm not the jury's still out on Jordan Love. I mean, sometimes he makes some throws that, you can say, yeah, I can understand why Green Bay likes this kid. And then he throws an interception, in the last possession, and they lose another game. I think this game's got to be all about the offenses, weather be damned. LA is averaging 26 points a game. They give up 23. Green Bay struggles on offense. They're only putting up 19.9 points a game. They only have 5 rushing touchdowns and 102 yards a game on the ground. That usually is their staple, but they've just been decimated by injuries in their backfield. They've got 14 passing touchdowns, 10 picks. The offense just can't move. Yeah, they got a great defense, giving up 20.2 points a game. But if you can't score, I think the Chargers are going to at least get in the mid-20s in this one. The Packers won't score enough. And the one thing about the Chargers, they're terrible at pass defense. They're 32nd. But the Packers just can't take advantage of that. They can't run the ball. Green Bay hasn't scored more than 20 points in 7 straight games. Chargers have put up 27 or more in 3 straight. I just think the Chargers offense is going to be the way to go in this one. So I'm going to lay the 3 with the Chargers.
All right. Well, I'm curious to see what Sean has to say. Which way are you going to go, Sean?
I'm torn in this one because part of me wants to say, like, let's take Green Bay. We just saw the Chargers put up a bunch of points. Better quarterback, and that's what the league's about. And I was high on Green Bay. I thought I was kind of like Love. I'm like, this guy, nobody's giving him credit. They started out pretty good. Offense was moving the ball first 2 games. They haven't scored more than 20 points in the last 7 games. So to think they're going to come in here and do something, I don't know. Chargers play 2 crappy quarterbacks, and they win the games 27-6 over the Jets and 30-13 over the Bears. And is Love more Goff and Mahomes or Dak, or is he more towards Wilson and Baggett? Right? I mean, that's who they've lost to. Mahomes, Goff, Dak, Tua. I can see those losses. Tennessee game was a little crazy. Typical bad head coaching by Chargers to lose a game like that. But they beat bad teams. And I want to take the under 43 here because I don't think Green Bay's not scoring 20. I don't care how bad the Charger defense is. They're not scoring 20-some points. I want to go under. I want to take Chargers in the under. I do. I'm torn. I don't know which way to go. I'm going Dan. We're going to go Chargers here. I haven't bet.
So I bring out the big guns, and it comes back to haunt me.
Actually, I wanted to take the under, but I feel like I have to pick a side here between you two. Like, should I just go under where you can put out 3 different sides? Can I say under to 43?
Well, I'm sure I prefer that, but I think Dan likes the idea that you're taking
I don't
the
know.
Chargers.
Like I'm saying, like I like the under the most because I don't think the Chargers are scoring 38. To get this 43. Give me the under. We'll go 3 different ways. Let's go. We'll go all over the place. So people decide. Because I can't. As the Chargers look like to play there. Everything I just said, but my gut says, man, why wouldn't you just take Green Bay? Because they look like total trash. And I'm known to just take. Hi, I'm taking the Browns this weekend. So I got the Titans. I'm all about holding my nose and take a bad place. I get it. That's how I win games, but even this one, I can't go Green Bay. I would definitely be towards Dan's side of things here. I'm definitely on Dan's side. 24-23. They have to score 23, Dan? How? Look at the scoring here. 19, 20, 10, 17, 13, 20, 18. First 2 games versus Atlanta and Chicago, they scored 38 and 24 because no one knew what Love would bring to the table. Chargers have defense.
Maybe there's one thing that we can agree on, though. Where's the money going to go between now and Sunday?
All over LA.
Yeah. So chances are you'll be able to get at least a 3.5, if not a 4 by Sunday, if you like.
Definitely bet. Like I say, I look at lines, man. If you like the fave, bet early. Hi, Miami was at 10 on look at lines. It's 13.5 right now. What are you doing? Bet if you like this game now, you like the Chargers, take it now because you're definitely laying that extra hook. No doubt about it.
Well, Dan, give us a plug. What do you got going on? What have you been doing? Where can people find you?
Yeah, I've been 11. I'm on 11-2-1 run in the NFL right now. I've been killing it on these island games. I don't know, probably the last 4 or 5 weeks. Coming off a 2-0 night in hockey. Lucky 2-0 night in hockey. I had the Oilers last night. I got to play up on tonight's NFL game, and I got a college basketball game that kicks off at 6 o'clock, or actually it kicks off at 7 o'clock. So yeah, check me out on jesseshul.com, sportscapping, insidersroom.com. So that's.
And the link to Dan's Cappers page is in the description box below. Dan, we're going to bring in Rye. Sean's going to skate out anytime he wants. I know he's got places to be, things to do. He's a shaker and a mover. When you're the number one NFL handicapper in the world, you got things going on. Let me tell you.
Having a good NFL season. It took a while to, September was a little slow start, and we kind of hit our little groove a little bit. Whatever, you know me. I don't get cocky. Jesse's the one who wants to shout out all from the mountains. I'm more of, I'm just happy to win, bro. I just want to keep the momentum going. I don't get too wrapped up in having good. No, it's nice, and I'm on the leaderboard, but yeah, man, I've those gambling gods, Jess, they've got me in the past. I'm not. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, no, I've learned the hard way. You gotta be humble, but I've had such a rough patch recently, a couple of weeks or 3-4 weeks of bad results, that when I go back-to-back sweeps like I have the last 2 days, I feel like I want to pound on my chest a little bit, and especially when you get the trolls coming at you saying, "Oh, you're a hack," and this and that.
55% over 10 years isn't good. Okay, you're right. Yeah. I'm terrible.
59% is. We had a guy saying 59%. You consider that good? The guy says. So I look it up, and the guy that won the Hilton contest last year hit 60.5%. There was only 4 guys in the entire contest, thousands of entries, that hit 59%. So yeah, 59% isn't good. 59% is next level elite. Over a sample size of a few hundred games.
We say this with Ross, man. The people have these expectations like, look at this, I'm hitting 10 leggers and 13 and 17 parts. That is, it's totally, come on. Whatever. Like I said, that's maybe I don't get excited because I would lose my mind. You've seen me go on my little rant sometimes with the new age gamblers in there. They're thinking, I can't do it. I just can't.
I think it's funny when they come on and start trolling us like that, especially because they usually say the stupidest things, that it's easy to hit them back with some reality. But before we call it a night, anybody got any opinions on that? The game's going to kick off any minute now anyways. Anybody got any thoughts on Ravens versus Bengals?
Yeah, we got a good 3 hours. I like the Ravens here.
Yeah, I know. What are you talking? It's 4:30. It's 5 o'clock. The game starts at 8:30.
Well, it's 5 o'clock in the morning where I'm at, and I've had about 20 cups of coffee. I barely know what's going on. But yeah,
I'm on the Ravens. I think Cincinnati has defensive problems, and Baltimore is going to take care of it. They like to rush the ball. Cincinnati's not good at stopping it. They have speedy receivers. I think they're going to throw the ball over the top. Lamar's going to have a good day, both passing and running. I think they cover the 3.5.
I'm going the other way. I think Joe Burrow's back, baby, and take the points. I think history favors the underdog here, but I don't actually have any.
No, it does. Trends say that Cincinnati's the right play, but
that's just a lean. But I do think Cincinnati kind of is. They've turned the corner, and even though they lost last week, at least they scored a bunch of points. So if they score points like that, they should still cover anyways.
Yeah, I'd like the over too. So,
anybody want to add anything to that before we get out of here?
I was gonna say, I see Dan's rant wants to know how I move in silence. That's exactly why I move in silence, Dan, because you have a good run, and then you're like, look at this. Oh, I'm having a good run, and next thing you know, you get buried, and you're like. That's why I just try not to. I'll just let it. If I'm on the leaderboard, super. If I'm not, it is. I'll just grind them out. I always say, man, better forget. I don't care. You just have to just move. I can't get wrapped up in it, man. Way too. Did that long time ago. Get all. You can't survive for 30 years doing that. You die of a heart attack.
Yeah, no, it's a talent that you have to have if you want to be in the business long term. Is you got to keep you got to stay away from high highs and low lows. You got to keep even. But
good run. It's like excellent. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. You start losing. You're like, all right, let me just get refocused. It's just kind of a different kind of maneuver, but it's the same kind of mentality. It's like whatever. I'll get back. The winning is like, all right, I can't deviate. The losing, it's like, all right, I know my numbers are okay. The tide will turn. I'm not,
I've only had one loss in my career.
Increasing my unit and chasing. 71% and be even.
Who's saying this?
That 51. I mean, you should be. College hoops. I'm like 8 or 9 games under 500, and my wallet is basically even because you reel the bets backwards when you're. Yeah. How are you basically? Oh my god! That's like the guy telling you, I don't know, you're having a rough one. I'm 7-2. Yeah, I'm down. We went 7-2 last Sunday. How are you down? Oh well, I did a couple things on my own. I tripled up on this. Bankroll management, Dan. Betting 101. Money management. Chasing. You cannot do it. You don't you win. I'm going to triple my wager. Who are you like? Brandon Lang? Like, oh, we're going to go 25 unit dime play. Let's make it 150 units. This isn't 2 for the money. You can't do that.
I guess when you're betting a lot of those exotics and same game parlays and you start mixing in some of these things, it can happen.
You're having fun and you're making money. You can't do that. Like people are like, oh, it's your top game. Should I put more on it? Well, maybe a little bit more. Like if you're betting $100, put 125 on it. It's not. Yeah, I like it the most. Doesn't mean it's going to win. So it loses and we're 11-4 and you're down. How's that possible? You can't do it. Don't. This is not get rich quick overnight.
Yeah, they all look like winners before the game starts. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Only one time in my career did I lose sleep over a loss, and that was Atlanta Falcons in the Super Bowl.
That was a tough one, bro. That was just
I couldn't sleep for 2 days after that. Aside from that, I usually have no problem keeping it even, Steven, and not getting too low.
I got to run now, guys. I got to get my daughter.
All right. Well, I think we're going to shut it down, but thank you guys for joining me. And
a quick thing on that Super Bowl, Jesse. I left work. I was in Thailand. I was watching the game in the classroom teaching. And after that game was over, I was so pissed off. I walked to the principal's office and said, I'm going home. They're like, why? I said, I'll hurt somebody if I stay here much longer.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was brutal. It was brutal. It was like, I've never seen anything like it. I hope I never see anything like it again. But it was so traumatic. It's even tough to talk about, Dan. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Anyways, guys, it is late here, but I appreciate you stopping by, and I'm looking forward to doing this again next week if you guys are available. And to all of our fans watching, which seems like it's limited to Dan's rants, good luck unless you're against us.